So hello folks, welcome to this video, and in this video we are going to perform data analysis on India GDP growth rate. And this is the data set for few years, like for around for 62 years we have this data set. And talking about these values, only 4 columns we have with this data set. And at very first we will do cleaning, we will do extractions with this data set. And talking about the data extraction process, at very first you have to do check with the duplicate value. If there are any kind of duplicate value, you can remove these duplicate values. Either you can remove these duplicate values or you can replace these values if you have another values. And apart from this, you have to do check with the null values also, null and empty cells also. And if you have the null values or empty cells, definitely you can replace these values or you can remove these values if these values are not important for you. So at very first I will do formatting of this data set in proper way. And talking about the formatting of this data set in proper way, at very first I will align this data set in proper table format, and for that I will go to the cell 1. And after going to cell 1, I will click control button, then I will click shift button, and then I will press right arrow button, then I will press down arrow button, and then I will press control plus T so as to form the table. And okay, once again I will, or easy way or easy shortcut all of you have at this moment, just because of we don't have the complex data. So in easy way, like you can do control all and you can press control T to form the control to create a table. So here I have been created the table with using only 2 shortcuts. And while it comes to the complex data set and you want to select the specific value from large amount of data set on Excel, you can go for the control plus shift and right arrow and down arrow option. Using these options you will able to see you are able to select a specific values on with your data set. Now I have been formed this data set, formatted this data set in a table. Now I want to do the conditional formatting. For conditional formatting I will do select complete dataset, and on right side in down in right side you are able to see the option to do the conditional formatting. And apart from this you have the option of conditional formatting from the directly from the tab also, but this is the shortcut and I am going to use the shortcut to save my time. Now we have the different types of options to do conditional formatting. Also we have the option to insert the charts directly from here, like talking about this scatter chart. From scatter chart we have the kind of combination for this data set, the proper visualization, and more chart option also, bubble chart option is there also. And using these charts, definitely it will help us to find out or come up with the insightful information, but we are not going to put these charts directly. And while it comes to the totals, sum, average, count, a percentage total, running total, and sum of all the values, we can do the value if these values we have the requirement in case of future or with any other kind of data set if you are performing. And if you need kind of values, you can directly do these, enter these values from here. Then we have the option for the table like blank pivot table, and definitely we are going to use the blank pivot table in for coming data analysis process and data visualization process also, as well as we can form the tables for specific values using this and we have the spark line option. And in spark lines we have the different line options like column, then we have the line option, then we have the column option, then we have the win loss option. While it comes to this dataset, this dataset is very balanced dataset, that's why we don't have the enough combinations to see with bar chart or this win loss chart, but here we can use the win loss chart. And from win loss we have the clarity, kind of clarity, like in which year the growth is happening in negative way. Like if growth is declining, it was showcasing the last bar as a red in red color, and while it growth is going in positive way, it was showcasing in a blue color. So this is the easy way of conditional formatting to understand the tentative insights from this dataset. Then we are going to use the data bars for all these values, and from this data bars we have the comparison, we are getting the good comparison in between per capita growth rate. Then once again we have the color scale option also, and using color scale will also allow us to find out or come up with the good insights. with this data set. Directly these values are showcasing some kind of information. Now then we have the other options also, but these options are not necessary or not useful for us at this moment to do perform with this data set. Talking about index, we don't have to do anything with index, and around 62 years of data set we have from 1960 to 2021. And talking about this column, we have the bars, but using these bars we don't have the clarity. Like if you are seeing this side, the left side of this cell, you are able to see a small blue color of line, vertical line, but this line is constantly there is no proper growth, and consistently and constant year on year we have the option, we have the year on year column here. That's why it was not showcasing any kind of growth. So things are simple and easy with this column. And while it comes to the GDP, it was showcasing the red color scale for lowest growth, and while it comes from lowest to highest growth rate, it was showcasing somehow color combination in white color, and if combination goes in more positive way, then it will start to showcase the values in green color. So red to green color scales we have at this moment. And talking about the GDP in billion dollars, it was showcasing somehow the neutral color scale combination for the current GDP growth rate in billions. Then we have the per capita growth rate, and talking about the per capita growth rate, we will go to the drop down, and from drop down, if you do check with the color scale, as well as if you do check with the bar stack bars, from these bars you will get the clarity. Like it was showcasing the continuous and fastest growth in per capita income in rupees. And while it comes to the percentage, it was showing the most of the cells in a red color, and it was showcasing just because of the most of the values are neutral. Like values are variable in varying in between -10 percentage -10 to +10. That's why it was showcasing the most of the red color scale in the red color. But if you see this color scales in very depth or in very proper way, then you will find some color scales are darker than other color scales. But still there is no large gap in between this color, in between this percentage. The gap is around 10 to 5 or 10 to 12% of gap. That's why it was not showcasing the proper color scale. So it's fine about the conditional formatting. We have the few insights from this conditional formatting. Now we will go for the visualization part. So basic data analysis we have been done from this data set, this small chunk of data set, and this is the small data set. That's why it is very easy to perform the data analysis with this data set. But while it comes to the large data set, it will be not that much easy to perform the data analysis as I am showcasing right now to all of you. This is the very easy manner, just because of to understand the beginning, how the process for data analysis goes. That's why I was showcasing, and that's why I am creating this video. And from this video as well, as you will get the more insightful information and more details, and you will get more clarification about the data analysis process. That's why we are performing this data analysis with this data. Then we have the insert tab, and from insert tab we need the pivot tables. Now to do the visualization, we have the need to come up with the charts, and that's why we need the pivot tables. And using pivot tables, after pivot tables we'll go for the charts also. Now here we have the 4 different options, and talking about these options, we have the option to select the table range. It's cool about the table range. I will keep this option as it is. And another one option we have is new worksheet or existing worksheet. Like if I am selecting with existing worksheet, I have the option to insert the pivot table on same sheet. But I don't want to insert pivot table on same sheet. I want to insert the pivot table on new worksheet. That's why I will select with the new worksheet, and I will press enter. And once I have been press enter, then we are on new sheet with our values, pivot table field values, and we have the 4 different fields for filter, column, value, row. These are the filters. These are the fields we can use for better formation of pivot tables. Now we will do comparison in between years and GDP in billion dollars. But while it comes to this, we are able to see only 2 table with only 2 rows. We don't want the sum. It was showcasing the values like sum of year and sum of GDP in billion dollars. Now we don't need the sum of GDP in billion dollars, as well as we don't need the sum of years. We need years as it is, and for that we will add years into rows. That's why we will change the fields. So you can directly click on year and you can directly drag these two rows. Once you have been click and drag to the rows, you will get definitely the values for each year in a proper way. So that's all about this pivot table. This was the very easy pivot table, and right now if I am clicking on somewhere else, you are not able to see the other options or the other options to come up with the more updates with this table. But while you click on this table, only then you are able to see the table fields and other activities. Also you will see the analyze and design tab. But while you are clicking on the open cells or the cells without value, you are not able to see the analyze and design tab. So it's important to do click on any cell of the table, and only then you have to go, or you have to do check with analyze tab. Then we have to insert the pivot chart, and using pivot chart we are going to use this pivot chart to understand the insightful information from this data set. And from pivot chart, the most suitable chart according to me is line chart, and especially in line chart, lines with markers we are going to use, so as it will give us more clarity about the specific values from this data set. So this is the basic visualizations, this is the basic chart visualization we have been done with it. And this is univariate analysis, you can tell to this analysis you can take as like univariate analysis. And apart from univariate, we have the different types of analysis like multivariate, bivariate. Now for now we are not going to discuss about this part. We will directly click on this plus button, and after clicking on this button, I don't want some fields on this chart, fields like legend, and I don't want these fields also sum of GDP in billion. So I will hide these field buttons from this chart. I will do right click, and here I have the option to hide all field buttons. So I will do click, I will do check with it. Then I want to change the name of chart, as we are showcasing the growth per year in billion dollars. Then I will give name to this chart as GDP growth. Okay, so this is the chart for GDP growth. So from the chart we have the clarity about the GDP growth and GDP. I will rename this sheet also GDPG as GDPG, GDP growth rate. And once again we will go to the insert tab. Already this table has been selected. If in case of data analysis, while you are going at very first, do check with all these things and all these facts, like your table has been completely selected, not. You have to do select with the table, and once again same procedure we have to do follow. And once again we have the open fields for pivot tables, year and per capita in rupees. Once again we will drag years from values to rows, and once again we will do click on this table. We will go to the analyze tab, we'll go to the pivot charts, we will insert the pivot charts, and from pivot charts we are going to use this time we can use stack bar chart as well as area chart and as well as column chart also. And talking about the column chart, stacked chart, stack column chart, we have the different options in column charts also. And from this chart we can use any type of chart. Like now I want to stack column chart and clustered column chart also. So stack column chart we will use, and from this we will insert this chart at very first. As per the last chart, we will remove the hide fields, we will hide the fields from, and we will hide the legends, just because there are no any legends with this data set. We will remove this tab. Then we will rename this growth as growth per capita, as we are getting clarity about growth per capita from this chart visualization. Once again we will go to our main data set, we will go to the insert tab, we will go to the pivot table, we will do enter. We have the open fields, we will do select year, we will do select growth, and we will remove year tab, year from values to the growth to the rows. And once again we have to do check with the analyze tab, as well as we have the design tab also. If you are willing to use the chart and these options, definitely you can do check with the designs, you can do check with the subtotals. Like most of the time if you are forming each time if you are forming the tables, these pivot tables, you will get the grand totals, but grand totals are not necessary or not useful with this pivot table. So I want to if I want to remove these grand totals, then I will go to the design tab, and from design tab we have the grand total subtotal option. So these are the different options. So from grand totals I want to remove this sub grand totals, so I will do check with the off for rows and columns. I don't want this grand totals, that's why I have been removed these values from design tab. Now we will go to the analyze tab, we will go to the pivot chart, and from pivot chart we have the option, different options to come up with the different charts. Now we have the column charts, but from column charts we don't have the proper clarity of the percentage growth. It was showcasing somehow the confusing chart. That's why I will do check with the line chart. Once again we have the confusion, there is no proper analysis is it was not showcasing the proper analysis from this chart. That's why I will do check with the other charts also. While it comes to the pie chart, it was once again not showcasing the proper growth, or nothing is seems good. So percentage is less, area chart is also not good fit. So that's why I will do check with the radar chart, and radar chart is the really good fit for this value analysis, just because of somehow these values are the neutral, or these values are in a specific proportion. That's why we are going to use the radar chart, and on radar chart it is very easy to track the values, the neutral values or the values which are the most balanced values. It is very easy to track on the radar chart. Now I will do rename this chart, and I will rename this chart as percentage growth GDP percentage, what we can rename it as GDP growth percentage. And we have to rename the sheets also, sheet 7 as per capita growth GDP P GDP PG per capita. Okay, it's fine, GDP P we can add, and then we will rename this sheet also as GDP percentage wise growth. And now almost we have been done with the data analysis, almost we have been done with the visualization part. Now it's time to form the visualizations properly with the dashboard, so as to do comparison very properly, or to do data analysis. That's why I will go to the sheets, and I will add a new sheet, and I will rename the sheet as a dashboard. And on this sheet we are going to form the dashboard for these visualizations and whole the data analysis process. From this dashboard it is very easy to come up with the proper analysis for all these values, and definitely it will be more helpful for us in case of future to if we are facing any kind of GDP at very first. If we are facing any kind of problem, or if we want to find out the details for any kind of insights, dashboard will help us in a very proper way to come up with the insights for the same. Then all these charts I will do Control C, and I will do Control V on first tab. Now I have to do check with the alignment of these charts in a proper way, so as to align the tables and all these things in a proper way. For that I will rearrange these tables or these charts, and here we have been done with this part. I will align these charts so as to fit properly all these values. I will reduce this one. We have to add slicers also. For slicers we will keep some space, and for slicers we are going to put 2 cells as it is. Now the from radar chart we have the kind of clarity, and at very first we will add the slices, only then we will go for the discussion over the chart or dashboard. So I want year for slicer, then I want per capita growth and percentage growth also. So these are the 3 different slicers we have. At very first we have to do check with the connection of the slicers with all the chart, just because of if you are just clicking on this here on this chart or this column, you are able to see only changes are happening with this radar chart but not with the other charts. To form this, to happen these connections or to perform all these charts at a time, we have to form the connections between all these chart, and for that we will go to the report connection and we'll do select all tables. Then per capita chart, we'll do right click, we'll go to the report connection option, we'll do check with all these options, then we'll go to the growth tab, we'll go to the report connection option, we'll do check all the tables, and almost we have been done with this part. Now we have to align these tables properly, we have to align these slices properly, and here I have been done with most of the work. Growth percentage, okay, and we have to do check with these values also. From this chart I was not discussing about any problem statements, or I was not coming with any problem statements, but directly we can do discussion how you can find the insights from this chart. And for the same, previous to this, I have to do select both of these rows on top, row 1 and row 2. I will go to the home tab, I will do merge and center, which will allow me to add the title in the middle of this rows. So I will add title as India's GDP from year 1960 to year 2021. Now I have to increase the size, and talking about the size, I will go to the home tab, I will do bold, and I will increase the size to 18. Middle alignment is fine, and it's totally fine with this. And okay, so almost we have been done with the data visualization for this chart, and here we have the proper dashboard for data visualization. Now we will do discussion about the insights, how you can find the insights from this data set. Like you can come up with the problem statements like from 1960 I want to see the growth rate from 1960 to 1964, how the GDP was growing. So talking about this, we have the 3 different charts, and on 3 different charts, while it comes to the radar chart, on radar chart we have the percentage growth, and percentage growth rate is from -10, is ranging in between -10 to +10. So in between we have the percentage range on the chart. And talking about the year 1960, this is the starting year we have been considered, that's why it was showcasing the 0, but this tab also has the values. And while it comes to the 1961, it was showcasing the 3.72 percentage growth, and these are the grid lines. Using these grid lines we are capable to find out the growth, what is the exactly growth rate happening on this chart. And also we have the values also for this specific chart. And in talking about 1964, it was showcasing 7.45 percentage of growth rate. And talking about the per capita growth rate, it was showcasing 6,560 rupees per capita we are earning. As India, we are earning only 6,560, and coming to the 1964, we are earning 9,280 per capita. So it was showcasing the somehow positive growth rate, continuous positive growth rate from this graph for this specific 4-5 years of duration. Now I want to do check for all the years, dataset for all the years. And while it comes to this, from this radar chart, I have the very deep points, 2 deep points. And talking about these 2 deep points, we have the year 2020, and in year 2020 it was showcasing the -6.6 growth. So exactly this information is correct. And talking about the last year, it was the really worst year for in past 2-3 years are really worst, just because of the COVID-19 situation for whole the world. And just because of this, India is showcasing the -6.6 percentage growth in 2020. And as well as we have another one dip point, and this dip point is showcasing in 1979 with minus 5.24 percentage of growth rate. Talking about the top points or the top percentile growth rate in between, then we have the year 1988. 1988 was the best year, in which year we have been saw the top percentage wise growth rate, and it was showcasing the 9.63 percentage of growth rate. Then in 1975 we have the another one top growth percentage year, year by percentage, and this year was showcasing the 9.15 percentage of growth rate. And while it comes to the 2021, it was showcasing the really great bounce back of the growth rate, and it was showcasing around 9 percentage of the growth rate comparing to the year 2020. And while facing after the really bad situations after COVID-19 situation, it was showcasing the around 8.95 percentage of growth rate. So in total we have the 3 different years showcasing the percentage wise. These years are showcasing the less growth rate, and while it comes to the top 3 years, these are the 21, 75 and 1988. These are the 3 years. These 3 years are showcasing the best growth percentage wise, best growth. And while it comes to the growth per capita in 1960, talking about the per capita growth, we are just earning the 7,200 rupees per capita. And while it comes to the 2021, it was showcasing like 1,82,160 rupees per capita we are earning. So this is the positive growth rate, continuously showcasing in per capita also, and as well as in $1 billion GDP, gross domestic product growth. Talking about the gross domestic product growth, it was showcasing the continuously upward growth rate, and around $3,173 billion of GDP it was showcasing in 2021. And today we are discussing about this dataset in 2023. And once again, if we have not done with the future forecasting with this dataset, but while it comes to the future forecasting, definitely it will show us a positive growth rate. While we don't have been inserted the dataset for 2022 and 2023. And talking about the today's like in 2023 GDP, around 3,700, more 700 plus approx 3,700 approx $billion of GDP, gross domestic product, was showcasing for India in current days. So definitely there is continuous rise in GDP, and only with one country of data visualization or data analysis process we have been done. And we have been done with this conditional formatting also, and color scaling and other scaling options we have been used for this part. And we have been formed 3 different charts, and from these 3 different charts we have been considered a single dashboard. This is the easiest dashboard. This is the very easy project to do, or you can add some more columns into this dataset in this dataset by collecting values from internet and from other sources, and you can do check with the more values for this dashboard, and definitely you can come up with the updates, and you can definitely showcase this project into your portfolio also. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. I will do share this dataset with all of you in video description, and as well as I will add this dataset and all this complete this project on GitHub also, so you can directly download file from GitHub as well as from the Google Drive also. So thanks for watching this video. Have a great day. Goodbye.